Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review of the movie Independence Day Resurgence. So, overall I thought this movie was okay. I don't agree with all the kind of critics slamming it again. I mean, it's got some issues with it, of course, but it's not completely unwatchable. I've seen some of those in my time, but this one, it at least has a plot and it moves forward. Granted, some of the stuff doesn't make sense going through, but sometimes it happens. So this one picks up 20 years after the first Independence Day. You've seen civilizations around the world have kind of unified into one world government. They've used the technology that they've gotten from the alien ships previously to kind of better their world and all that. Seen the fighter jets and everything, and overall it looks alright. Things are going pretty okay. Now, granted, they don't have ships on the size that the other aliens were using, which is kind of weird that you wouldn't use those kind of things or try and get to the point to reverse engineer that kind of stuff. But that's where the plot points start getting into weird territory for me. It's like you've had 20 years and you've got the tech that you're using, but yet you still don't have a complete grasp of their language yet. And then we get to the plot moving forward. We got the moon base. They've got lasers that are similar to the ones that did the destruction in the first movie and setting that up on the moon base. And then, out of nowhere, this new kind of craft comes in. But it is not the same design as the previous aliens. But yet the president of the government's like, fire on it. And I'm like, to make a decision that fast is usually a bad thing that you've done, but they pretty much blow it up and it's like, oh crap. And then we've got Jeff Goldblum's character. He's going through Africa because one of the ships is turned on and they're like, we didn't do anything to it. And this is an area in Africa where the ship is pretty much still kind of intact and set up. And the locals have been hunting and killing these aliens for years. And they're one of the only ones that aren't really put into the world order yet. But he's allowed to go in due to the local warlord whose the previous warlord, his father, had died, and he's letting these people in because his father's obstinance of not letting outsiders in led to his brother's death and other people's deaths. And he's a pretty cool character because they're showing him what he's done, how he's thinking forward, and kind of like his cool combat scene. He's pretty interesting and well done. So, as Goldblum's going up through it, he's like, what's going on here? Oh, crap. Seeing that symbol, seeing all these kind of symbols, people who've had contact with these aliens see this kind of symbol that's associated with fear and like an enemy kind of thing. And they're like, we kind of shot down that thing. Get me up to the moon, I gotta see it. So, they get to it, and it's some kind of, they've got a pod thing out of the wreckage. They're like, bring it out, which now vastly more gigantic, like harvester alien, I'm going to term them, or what I think they're probably called, comes out, pretty much nukes the moon base, and that starts off the chain reactions of like, oh crap. As it comes into the earth, it's like large enough to straddle the Atlantic Ocean, being from like the east coast of the US to like, I don't even know where they end it, but it's like over the Atlantic trying to drill into the molten core for energy. Granted, a ship this size is going to need something a lot more powerful than the molten core of a planet. It would need a star probably, because that's a more efficient place to get energy. Granted, you still got the solar system at risk, but it's more efficient. It doesn't make kind of sense. It's more like used for disaster level effects to see cities destroyed, the kind of crap going on in the ocean, which a ship is under like, here's the progress, used as pretty much a dummy counter. And then this sets flurries of everybody, Liam Hemsworth being with Jeff Goldblum at one point first. And then once they get to Area 51, as well as the former president who's been having the dreams and everything, they kind of start setting up and figuring out what they need to do. Like, okay, let's send our fighter squadrons in, try and blow up this queen, because let's try and blow up the ship. Okay? But after like, before they get into that effect, the Brett Spiner character wakes up from a 20-year coma, and they get to the alien sphere and find out that it is an advanced alien race that has learned to digitize itself for pretty much immortality reasons. It fought a war against these harvester aliens and had lost. So what they have now is that he's like one of the, he or she, well, it's got a female voice, so she is like the last of her alien race and has been grabbing other alien species to try and build up a resistance against these harvester aliens. And so that's pretty much how that's going. It's like, alright, kill the queen thing. And of course the former president had like got the information. They're like, alright, send the squadrons, which is led by Will Smith's son that he had after he had married Vivica Fox. And of course her character's in for like barely any time at all and dies. And then we get the group going in to try and like use cold fusion bombs to blow up the queen. And of course that fails because it's trapped. They get put into the ship and shot down. I'm like, oh god, that didn't work. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? So we've got diverging points at this. So we've got Area 51 pretty much preparing for an attack, and we've got the people that are down trying to get outside of the ship because the mothership launches. There's a mothership inside of this ship, which is pretty much on par size for the regular ones. Pops out and is like, we need to go get that alien thing. It's like, okay. And mind you, this queen is massive. We don't get the complete scale until later, but it makes no sense. Even if you're trying to follow a kind of insect methodology for a queen being bigger than like her workers, it's completely too big. Especially if they're like human size, and I say human size roughly in that they're a little bit bigger, but it's not by much. And she's like Godzilla level size. It doesn't make any sense. It's like, it's way too big. How would she even go around? How could she get places? And it's just like, okay. So, as they're preparing for the mothership that's coming to attack to take out, of course, the AI alien that they've got, they prepare, like, okay, we can do this. We can pretty much trap it with a signal that we're going to ghost and see if that works. And then pretty much cold fusion bomb. And I'm like, former president, I will do this. Gets his daughter away, and they're like, okay, I got this. So they fly in, and they pretty much get everything going. He's pretty much carrying what they think is the decoy, which they are using as the decoy. They kind of shield around the area, and he goes inside the mothership, and he point blank detonates 4 cold fusion bombs. And she survives it, because she's evidently got a shield that's like ship grade. Here's where I start having problems with that kind of thing. Cold fusion bombs are powerful in their own right. I mean, great, we don't have that tech yet, but that's vast steps up above a nuclear bomb. Because that uses fission, this uses fusion, which puts out more energy like the sun. Okay? I don't care how well your shields are. You are point blank right next to it. It can stop the force. It's not going to stop the radiation. And even if it could stop it would have trouble even trying to stop the force. A force field works on the fact that it can put enough force to stop the force from coming at you. If this is a ship, it would probably stop the ship from being completely rattled apart, but it will completely do damage. It should have killed the queen. I don't care what armor she's got, I don't care what weapons she's got. It should have killed her. The only reason it didn't is because she's Godzilla size and it has more disaster level to do it. And of course, that's when the other fighter squadron people who've stolen two alien ships which look newer and are somehow like farther away, so they technically probably be older than the ones that came to Earth. And it's just like, okay, and now she can control that tech. It's like, that's convenient, because then the former president's daughter, had killed the shield that she had, so they're trying to like fighter bomb her, and I don't know how they get out of control. They like burn out of her like range and then come back in like controlled dive to pretty much kill her. And then it sets up for the next one where Brett Spiner's like, oh, we're about to go kick some alien ass because all the tech that this other AI alien's going to give us, as well as the other people that it'll probably lead us to. So it just is like, why would you do this? It's not completely bad, but it's really got like no character development. Like Jeff Goldblum's father in it somehow survives the ship crashing down and meeting them in Area 51, which is driving from about DC to Nevada, and the time frames doesn't make any sense. And it's just, you don't really connect with the characters. And when plot points start going out and it's like, this doesn't make sense, why is this happening? All you've got are the spectacle and the action sequences, and you're like, they're okay. I've seen better. And it's not horrible, but it's like, I've seen better, and I've seen other stuff that I've connected more with the characters. So overall, it's an alright popcorn flick. It's not complete and utter trash, but it's not as good as it could have been. It doesn't even reach the heights of like the original one. It's just like, okay, it's just disaster porn. Blow this up, blow that up. And it's just like, okay. It's just setting up for a service of pretty much the sequel. So, those are my opinions on the movie. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.